Why are you wearing that still?
Oh, I'm just really passionate about delivering the mail.
Oh gosh. Okay, whatever.
And lynching people. Well, I don't like that.
He's a blight. Like stinkweed and cutworm that you spray and spray to get rid of, but always keep coming back.
Dark Night of the Scarecrow is a 1970s made-for-TV, made for CBS. A spooky little Halloween movie.
Tonight on the CBS Saturday Night Movies, this gentle, loving man.
About a guy who befriends a girl and then gets murdered by the mailman, and then the rest of the movie is the Scarecrow kills the mailman and his friends.
Yes.
That's the movie.
It's nice
there.
and simple. I like that it's simple though.
What the hell is this? I told you never to come over here. You know how this looks?
He's seen it, Otis.
Seeing what?
The Scarecrow.
I don't know, where do you even begin with this movie? I mean, plot-wise, there's not really a whole lot there. I guess the status as a kind of a slasher
Yeah.
of sorts.
It's not. I would call it more of like a thriller.
It plays with ambiguity as far as whether or not the Scarecrow is actually doing it. I mean, it's kind of a mystery film, actually.
Yeah, because I mean, you have this mentally handicapped guy at the beginning, and he's like super good friends with this like little like 9-year-old girl in the town. And then this mailman and a bunch of the other guys from this small town are super suspicious, and they think he's gonna like kill somebody because he's mentally handicapped. So they're like, well, we better kill him before he kills somebody else. So they're looking for an excuse to do this.
What would you do if something happened out there? Well, that's different. You know what I'd do. There'd be a reason. Uh-huh.
And the little girl just coincidentally gets attacked by a dog, and the man, the mentally handicapped man, runs up with her in his arms, and she's like all bloody from getting bit by the dog.
Papa didn't do it.
So the mailman and his friends, who have been looking for an excuse to kill this guy, they chase after him and they basically kill him in cold blood, and then they get a call on the radio like, oh, the little girl is fine, actually.
Little girl's all right. It's all a mistake. Hank Renfro's dog jumped her.
So, and then the whole mystery is because the mailman's friends start getting killed off one by one in strange and mysterious ways. And so we're left asking, is it the mom who's doing it? Is it the district attorney who's doing it? Or is it the little girl who's doing it to get vengeance? Or, fourth option, is it a ghost?
Shut up!
I was though, okay, so even after the mom died, and this is because I've watched so many modern movies, like, my expectations, because modern movies always want to be one-upping each other on twists, especially if they're thrillers and horror movies, so I'm like, oh, the mom's either really gonna be alive, and she's gonna be like, haha, I faked that heart attack.
and fate dying in the house
A
exploding.
fake dying in the house with the house exploding. Or it was gonna be one of those things where like she knew he was gonna kill her, so she set something up ahead of time so that even after she died it would still be spooky. But that actually was just a very simple plot, which was nice. I think modern movies have gotten into this mindset where they have to be so complicated that you need like a chart to keep track of all the twists and what's going on, whereas it's okay to just be a movie where it's a ghost and the ghost did it.
Who was it?
Told you it was Bubba.
No, it wasn't, damn it. Bubba didn't tell you that. Bubba didn't tell you anything. Bubba's dead.
I know.
And there's something just kind of cozy about that. And the fact that it's made for TV and they didn't go too far with the violence also kind of adds to that whole kind of cheery, spooky October Halloween atmosphere feel.
Yeah, because here's the thing, right? So the movies, the Halloween movies that Joe can watch are like this. The Halloween movies that I can watch are like this. So when we find one that fits into that circle that you know, we can both watch, it's really nice.
Basically William Castle movies.
Yeah.
If homicide is your hobby, may I recommend a surgical knife for a nice, clean, quiet murder?
I think the other day I was watching that Spanish movie, The Last Matinee, and you were just kind of sitting on the couch just like hiding behind your book over the last 30 minutes when the guy was chewing on eyeballs or whatever.
Hey, oh, I watched that one movie with the guy who cut out the lady's eyeballs.
Oh, Undefeatable, the Cynthia Rothrock movie.
The only reason I watched that, though, is because I didn't realize how gnarly it was going to get, and then I was already in too deep by the time the violence happened, so I had to watch the rest of it to find out what happened.
We should, next Film Illiterates video, top 10 movies where people carry around eyeballs in jars.
Now wait a minute. I'm not gonna hurt you. Now you're not afraid of me. I'm the mailman.
Why is the main villain a mailman, and why is he always in his mailman uniform?
Okay, here's kind of my theory. If we're gonna think that the filmmakers thought a lot about this, which based on their commentaries and stuff on the DVD, they pretty much overthought everything about this movie.
The design of the character, the design of, you know, the mask, just all the little, you know, elements that JD put into it, the fact that the movie essentially is timeless.
It's one of these movies that once you've seen it, you never forget it. It stays with you.
I would say that he's basically very self-important, and the mailman, it gives him status. Like, he wants to have status as like this protector of the town. And so wearing the uniform just makes him feel like he has status. I don't know why he was wearing it when he was alone drinking in his room, but...
Not only does he just straight up murder the guy at the beginning of the movie, he gets away with it. And you kind of feel like this is not the first time that he's kind of taken the law into his own hands and gotten away with it. And so I think he likes to go around feeling like he's the big guy in town, which makes it even funnier, the fact that it is just a mailman.
He probably is one of those guys who, if he lived in an HOA, he would be the guy making sure you don't put garden gnomes on your lawn. Because he doesn't have control of his own life, so he needs to control your life.
He's a blight. Like stinkweed and cutworm that you spray and spray to get rid of, but always keep coming back.
Now, as far as I know, this was never explored as an option in the movie. I mean, as far as by the filmmakers, they never explored this option. But I could see a version of this movie where it's more explicitly about racism and about him going around being like, oh yeah, I don't like, you know, the black guy on the block in this little dinky white town. Like that's the kind of the feel I got from this movie. It's just kind of like this very prejudiced, authoritarian kind of guy who wanted to go around and kind of like feel like he was in charge.
Well, that's the filmmakers on one of the behind-the-scenes things did talk about it was about prejudice.
You know, you'll see these, white supremacists today, and they're like these scumbags that nobody would really give them the time of day. So they've got to find somebody that they can feel superior to, and that's kind of the way Durning's character comes off in this.
They don't understand this guy with this mental disability, so they think he's dangerous because they don't understand him, and that's why they lynch him.
Yeah, anyone different than us.
Fishing. Great hunting.
Good choice or bad choice to make this a TV movie? Because it is a very, there's violence in the movie and a little bit of horror in the movie, but it's not, again, a very hardcore horror movie.
My thing about violence just in any kind of media in general is it depends what you're going for, because I feel like as soon as you add violence, like graphic, gore, stuff like that, the immediate emotion is just, ew. It's not like even fear, it's just gross out. Do you want the audience to be scared? Then don't show as much. So I think, like, this movie you could almost watch with, probably could watch it with older kids and it would be just fine.
Oh yeah, I think it would work fine as kind of one of those gateway horror movies. So according to the filmmakers, again, on the making of commentary, documentary, all that, they said that they never had to censor it down at all, because it was written from the beginning to be a more atmospheric, kind of spooky horror thriller. It wasn't meant to be a graphic film, despite the fact that a guy gets thrown into a wood chipper at one point.
This movie has one of the 3 best match cuts in cinema history.
More preserves, Mr. Hazelbree? There you are.
I do think there is a place for, graphic violence in horror movies. I mean, Evil Dead 2, one of my favorite movies of all time. That's because it's a cartoon with blood, basically. They go over the top with the amount of blood. Speaking of which, our video of, it's over there, of Evil Dead 2, where Alex and I talk about that film. It's one of my favorite films of all time. But it is, an incredibly violent movie, and the violence is part of the film's identity, and I wouldn't have it any other way. This is not Evil Dead 2. This is not the sort of thing, it's not like a Looney Tunes film with gore. Mm-hmm. It is a more, it is like a Ray Bradbury-esque tale. And so you got the impression that he was going for this very kind of atmospheric kind of tale that would fit in like Tales from the Crypt or oh shoot, what's the one I'm thinking of? Now it's gonna be bothering me. The one the Creeps? No, EC Comics. The George Romero one. It's this one. This is what I'm thinking of. Creepshow!
Oh, that one.
Creepshow! That's what I'm thinking of. Creepshow. It took me too long. This is my second beer. It feels like something like out of Tales from the Crypt or Creepshow or something like that, It fit right in there. Nailed it. Or again, in Ray Bradbury's October Country, his anthology short story series. And you got even stuff like the little girl who's kind of like, oh, I know Bubba's still alive. I'm talking to him, which kind of has like another little creepy element to it, so.
Yeah, part of me did wonder, because the movie is pretty good at keeping you guessing. I did wonder if they were, gonna make a little girl the killer, which I'm like, that would be really dark, but who knows?
Early? Early?
So, Katie, would you recommend Dark Knight of the Scarecrow Rises?
Something's wrong.
I definitely recommend Dark Knight of the Scarecrow because it is if you want a spooky ghost movie that does not have graphic violence that you could watch with your older kids, you could probably watch it with your grandmom and not scandalize anyone, but still get your little Halloween spooks in. It's good. I mean, it's not like the Shakespeare of cinema or anything. It's not like Oscar-winning movie, but it's a fun made-for-TV movie that's pretty good. It'll give you your spookies for the year.
Sam, I know what you're up to.
This isn't the sort of movie we're gonna watch a killer scarecrow running around pushing people into wood chippers. It is just kind of, the deaths look accidental. It's a lot of the movie is these people kind of being paranoid, talking with each other about, oh no, what's gonna happen next? And it all does lead up to the big money shot at the end of the film of the Scarecrow, which I won't show you because you should watch the movie, and it's really cool. It's a fun little payoff to everything else in the movie. It feels like a more traditional haunted morality tale that you would read in a book or watch in some TV show where it's the story of the week sort of thing.
Yeah, it does feel like a Halloween short story kind of thing.
What you sow, so shall you reap.
An eye for an eye.
Tooth for a tooth, hand for a hand, foot for a foot.
A life for a life.
So that's our video. I guess we'll go now. Do we just leave him there?
It's not hurting anyone.
Yeah. Alrighty. Oy.
Hey. Come on, let's get out of here.